Welcome back, guys. We spent the last bunch of days ripping these Honda air-cooled 250s. We've got the CRF250F, XR250L, and CRF230 with the 240 kit in it. Everybody says these bikes can do anything and go everywhere, so we did. We took them up into the deep woods, ripped them around the house and everything in between. I brought my buddy Jaden Donners, an off-road pro, along, and also Parker Dickinson, fast amateur here up in the Northwest. We'll show you guys how these bikes stacked up against each other. We're just warming up here at the house for now, and then we might take them up in the woods a little bit later and get these things in their natural habitat. Had a chain derail here. Unbelievable in the mud, huh? Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Some ideal conditions out here. Check it. Oh. So good.
Fun. Who needs a race bike when you got off-road trail bikes? That was sick. Oh no!
Yeah! That's gonna be the best blooper. I'm in the sticker bushes, it hurts. I didn't have much room. I was like, you were right there. I was like, oh. Not much of a trail rider, you can see.
I tried like 5 times.
And he does it first try.
Finally! Man down! Things have taken an absolute beating today. We're one bike down, so we're gonna take these things up into a shop, give them a good fix up, good clean, getting ready to take up into the deep woods in a day or two here, and we'll be dialed. Alright guys, we're out here for day 2. It's time to take these things into the deep woods. Had an absolute blast with them yesterday around the yard. Each bike had its own benefits. 230 with the 240 kit, tons of bottom end. It's a little lighter than the other bikes too, which was nice, but the clutch broke on it pretty quickly. Had to put a new one in for today, so we'll see how that holds up. The 250F has fuel injection, a little bit lower so that your feet are closer to the ground, which was nice through the tight trails where you have to put them down a bunch. A little bit on the heavier side, but it makes it up with the EFI. And then the XR250L, honestly, it's just a woods weapon. It tractored right through, lacked a little bit on the power compared to the other two, but honestly, super good bike, had the most fun on it.
I had the most fun on the 250F. It handles the best for my size, at least. The 230 is a little awkward for me. I kind of hit my knees a lot, but it definitely runs really, really good. And then this beast is just a whole different animal. It is very tough to ride and gives me lots of arm pump.
So guys, I had the most fun on the XR. You could just hold it wide wherever you wanted. It was just a great bike all in all, kind of heavy. This bike tracks the best, fuel injection was just great. Had tons of fun on it. This bike had the most bottom end, super snappy. I just didn't feel as good on it, but all in all, they're all great bikes.
What's up? This is my 94 Toyota pickup. This thing's gonna be the rescue vehicle for today. We're gonna have a lot of bikes in it.
We got Ethan hauling the camera equipment up on the hill, so big thanks to him for making it happen. This thing's feeling heavy in here, man. Not gonna lie.
These guys are ridiculous for what they bring me through.
Found this in the mud. Carson had no faith in me.
Yeah, finding it.
You need a kickstand to go fast in the woods. I don't make the rules.
I don't like this trail.
What happened, Jaden?
I told Carson to kick it, like not to start it, but to try to bend it back.
I think you set me up for failure.
I knew this was gonna happen.
That's Minecraft.
Why don't we just weld it back on there? Let me get my car battery.
All right, guys, we made it through. All the bikes survived for the most part. I think we were on the ground more than we were upright, and the bikes won that battle. We'll kind of take you through each individual bike and how they did. The CRF250F, what we know is that off-road, you especially want fuel injection and you especially want electric start. And this bike's got both of them. You can be on the side of the hill with your bike upside down and this thing's gonna fire up and keep on going. Doesn't matter the temperature or elevation, it makes no difference. And this thing really stood out up in the woods because of that. As far as downsides go, the fuel injection is freaking awesome, but it makes it super heavy because it basically takes the wiring harness of a car, and this bike is extremely overbuilt already, making it heavy, so it's hard to get this thing over logs, up hills, through the tight stuff up in the woods. It's basically 30 pounds overweight and a lot heavier than even a Honda 450 is. For this bike's intended audience, it's unreal. For beginners, first-timers, play riders, if you want to just mess around the yard, do a poker run with your buddies, it's amazing. A little overweight for a pro rider, but it makes up for it because this is the only bike that made it all the way through the week without a hiccup, and it shows because it's built so well. XR250L, same motor as the XR250R, a little softer suspension, metal tank for the street, but overall pretty much the same bike. I think we had the most fun on this bike. 4-valve, dual-port motor, pretty much pulls from bottom to forever, especially in the woods. It makes a killer kind of power. As far as downsides go with this bike, it's got a carburetor and it's got a Kickstarter. When this thing was hot and laying on its side and we would pick it up, we really struggled starting it and ended up starting this thing more than we were riding it over the course of the last bunch of days. With the other bikes being electric start, whoever was riding those were on their way and kept riding while we were trying to start this, and it ended up being a pain, and we actually broke the Kickstarter off this at one point. When you're not in a panic situation or the bike's not hot, anybody can start it and it's easy to do, but man, it was tricky compared to those other ones. Oh, you can't deny the XR is legendary. This thing was amazing overall other than the Kickstarter and getting some water in the electricals, but man, this thing, the power it was making was so perfect for the woods, it's hard to go wrong with it. CRF230, these bikes are known for being pretty slow. We ended up putting the BBR 240 kit in it along with the cam and pipe, and it really woke this thing up. It was actually the fastest out of all these bikes, and it was really nice because it had bottom end to hop over trees, get through ruts, all the good stuff. Only downside is we had to mix a little higher octane gas into it, or it tried to ping when we got it really hot. All right, good things for this bike. It's lighter than the other ones and a lot simpler to work on. It does have a carburetor, but it works pretty well and it's easy to get to in case you need to adjust anything. As far as downsides go with this bike, I personally think it was too tall. I struggled to get my feet on the ground when I needed to. Parker and Jaden both like the size of this thing because they're a bit taller. Also, the clutch burnt up on it both days and we ended up having to change it pretty quickly on. We rip this thing on the road all the time, so we had a dual sport kit on it. I switched it all back to off-road for this week, including taking the mouse out of the airbox on it, but it was dialed other than that. We made it out to BBR. We've got the XR250 on the scale. This is the L model. I've got the mirrors off of it. It does have a metal tank though. It's coming in at 272 pounds. Got the 230 on the scale. This thing's got the dual sport kit with the headlight and the tail light. It is coming in at 248 pounds. That is 22 pounds lighter than what the 250L was. 250F, no lights or goodies or anything on this. It is rocking 268 pounds on the scale. All these bikes have full tanks of gas and each of them have heavy duty tubes in the tires, adding a little bit of overall weight. These things took an absolute beating over the last few days, so make sure to hit that like and subscribe. It's not cheap to do these things, so we'll keep them rolling as long as you guys are all for it.
I cannot keep it together. You're an inch away from death every single time.
I know, that tree wants me.